Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service and all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
One of these door knockers, our new sponsors here of Kimberly's Revolution, they come out, they protect your investment, they do power trimmed edges, they treat grease spots, thick, professional, hand-applied, commercial-grade seal coat, express sealers, seal coating, patching, crack filling, and lawn and landscape. Call today for Express Sealers, 645-2010. 645-2010. Call the best. They're advertising here on Kimberly's Revolution, so you know they're the best.
So now we have cupping,
Hello.
crack sealing.
Hello, crack sealers.
We cover everything on
This is it. Our brand new sponsor. Huh? What you get with Express Sealers. All kinds of good stuff.
Hold on, wait a second.
Yeah, all kinds of good stuff.
I think we have a call coming in. Hold on a second.
We have a call.
Hold on.
Okay.
The phone's ringing here.
The bat phone?
Hold on, the phone's ringing.
Phone's ringing.
I don't know how to answer the phone with these headsets on. And hold on, it's Joe Biden.
Someone says they can't hear us. Is that a true statement? I hope not. I hope people can hear us. The audio would be working, yeah? Yeah, very good. All right, so yeah, Kimberly's Revolution, Home Sweet Home is the name of today's show. And we are home at our studios in Irondequoit. This is our first show ever. And I don't know, someone is saying that they cannot hear us. Maybe it's something on your end. I don't believe it's anything on our end.
Turn up your volume.
Maybe turn up the volume. But it seems like everything is working here.
But Joe Biden's on the phone. He wanted to congratulate us on the opening up of our new podcast.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. President.
That's so nice.
Yes, yes, Joe. Thank you. Yes, we understand you have to go down for your nap now. All right, we'll talk to you later.
Isn't the red phone the nuclear phone, Chad? There's no way they gave you the red phone, did they?
At some point in time, we are going to be able to hear listeners on that phone. That is a for real thing that is going to happen, right?
It is.
That is a for real thing that is going to happen. So yeah, these are our brand new studios. We are here today, and we have audio. Oh yeah, we're good. So I'm Kimberly.
Are you sure we want audio?
I am Kimberly.
Yes,
I am here
you
with
certainly are.
Chad Hummel. I am here with Tom Morgan.
Yes.
We are here with Matt Clark.
The one and only.
You Made It Political on Facebook. You
Good
can watch
afternoon,
him.
everybody.
How he's producing.
I'm
a
in
show.
the background. I'm in the background today, guys. You're not going to see me today, but thank you for all tuning in.
Everything that you see and hear today has been compiled by Fitzy, who owns Rockvox.
Scott Fitzgerald.
And
Thanks, Scotty.
Fitzy, you're amazing, and he hosted us at his beautiful studios in Burgundy Basin since September. We had our first podcast there, and he was fantastic, and he really taught us a lot. And the kind of guy that Fitz is at Rockvox, he's the kind of guy that says, let me help you get up and running. And then we meet Matt Clark, and we meet all these great people. And Matt says, yeah, I'll help you get up and running on your first, go around. And he did. And he spent 2 days with us. I mean, not including Sunday. You were here yesterday. We were all here Sunday, making sure that all of our equipment worked. And you guys,
Good job,
round
everybody.
of
Good
applause
job.
for everyone that has helped make this happen.
That-
My,
See,
my,
that's
my
what
equipment
happens.
works, so I didn't have to be here.
That's what happens when you work together, unlike the Democrats.
It is teamwork.
Chad, your equipment works because you had 4 kids?
Yeah,
Correct.
we are. We're like
Proof is in the pudding.
We're like a band of brothers, It's the greatest generation. We're like the band of brothers. And what? I don't know
What was that?
I don't know. We might have a little glitch or two.
It's all good.
Are you already drinking shots?
Kimberly.
One shot, drop dead.
God bless Kimberly.
God bless.
Here's to the new studio.
Many, many years. Why isn't my... Oh, there we go. Here it is.
Ah, cheers.
Many, many years. Cheers.
There you go. That shot won't give you blood clots, right?
No.
Was that the Moderna? Or
Wait a
the-
minute. I think I got one.
That shot won't give you blood clot. But the first thing I want to talk about
great.
is, we love real estate here on this show. Before we get into the really hardcore stuff, not porn, but before we get into the
Damn it.
really hardcore stuff, I do love real estate so much. And Aunt Mel is coming in this weekend, and I am going to be on vacation. I go on vacation, so I'm not going to be here next week.
Wait, is she giving us work to do?
I'm
Yes.
not gonna be here next week.
She's already made an appointment for me, Chad.
When I get back from vacation, Kimberly's Revolution is gonna roll live every day. I know, be very afraid. Kimberly's Revolution is gonna roll live every day. Have not decided what time. I'm gonna contemplate that on vacation. I'm thinking maybe 10 or 11.
Matt's sitting over there right now going, yeah, I highly doubt it.
But no, so when I get back from vacation, my husband and I are taking a little vacation, and I have a house sitter coming in for Lois, so she's going to be taken care of. But Aunt Mel is coming in, and Tom is going to take Aunt Mel around to see a couple of
I
houses.
sure am.
Yeah.
Excited.
So we are excited about that. So what's going on? What's happening?
Your little up button didn't happen, so sorry.
It did. It started.
Yeah,
We
started.
had a timer.
It started and then it stopped.
Is that made in China?
Somebody called a timeout.
Probably. So we're just gonna put the regular time back on.
All right, so Aunt Mel is coming into town. Tom is going to squire Aunt Mel around, and hopefully we'll be able to secure a house for her in Irondequoit. They don't come easy around these parts, right?
Not unless you're going to pay $50,000 over asking price.
And I have to really make sure that Aunt Mel understands it. Hey, Tom, don't worry about the timer. I got
All
the
right.
time right here. Don't worry about the timer. At some point in time,
That's $60 down the drain.
we will be able to. It's gonna work. It's just don't do it in the middle
okay.
of the show.
I'll say the
Okay.
same thing I say to my kids.
Okay, this is podcast etiquette. Don't deal with the clock in the middle of the show.
Can I tell you what I say to my kids?
Yeah.
But okay, that's $20 I just flushed out of the toilet.
What, Matt? We'll get it working, right? It just
Yeah,
doesn't
we'll
have to
get
be
it
within
working.
the hour of the podcast. So, 2 things. Have you ever renovated a house and you found something crazy in the house from like back in the day? You know, you hear all these stories about there's money hidden in the side of the wall. There's, all kinds of crazy liquor bottles underneath a porch. You hear about, these stories from
There's
time
a
to
liquor
time.
bottle underneath Tom's chair right now.
So this family bought a house that was built in the 1920s. And it had not been renovated, this house, since like the early 1950s. I can't even imagine what the carpet looked like. But as they were renovating and flipping this house, they tear up the carpet. And underneath of the carpet, there is a painted Monopoly, just a huge Monopoly board. Room.
Now, which streets on the Monopoly board are?
Built and painted a huge Monopoly board on their floor. And then at some point in time, when those big games, went out, the 50s and 60s, people played board games. They got together with their families. They got together with friends. They played cards. They played board games. That's what people did for fun back in the day. Now we just sit here and we do this all day. We just sit here and we do this on our phone. And
We sit in front of our microphones.
We sit in front of our mic. But yeah, so people back in the day. So I thought that was kind of cool. You know what I would do? I would put some kind of sealer, shiny sealer over the top of it. And I'd that, Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her father 40 whacks, whatever.
Is that Dr. Seuss?
Yes,
Gave
Dr.
her-
Seuss.
So the Lizzie Borden house in Falls, I think, River, Massachusetts,
Sure.
went on the market for $2 million.
Bargain.
This guy who owns U.S. Ghost Adventures, it had been like a B&B, a bed and breakfast, right? The people that had previously owned Lizzie Borden's house. He bought it for $2 million. He's going to make a whole little ghost adventure out of it where they have murder mystery night. They're going to host all these big ghost parties at the Lizzie Borden mansion where allegedly, although a jury found her not guilty, she took an axe and killed her family. You've heard of Lizzie Borden, right?
Oh, yes.
Chad is giving me the I don't know look.
Just wondering when it's my turn to talk.
What a dick.
When you get your own freaking show, mister. You've already done enough talking for everyone today.
It's all good.
I had to scold Chad, but we won't get into that.
Why not? What did I do?
Yeah, you know what you did.
Right. Send an email to somebody or something?
You know what you did.
I like sending emails to people.
So and not only am I going to have a show every day, Matt Clark of You Made It Political, who is sitting in the room with us now, he's also going to do
I think he ran out already.
we scared him. I think he's also going to do a show from here right before we go on Wednesdays. Is that right?
Yeah, I'd like to start bringing in guests, and we're going to come out with a new show called The Red, White, and You.
Red, White, and You.
Right, and we're going to just get a little bit more interactive. My morning show is all about going through social media and debating people's comments online, but we're gonna get more interactive in the afternoon, so I'm looking forward to that.
What time?
Matt Clark, part of the We the People podcast network.
That's right. We the People Podcast Network, which is launching today from our studios in the beautiful downtown area of Irondequoit.
High above Titus Avenue.
I'm just waiting till I have to fire myself.
Oh, it'll come. And believe me, I mean, people have already tried to fire us, but yeah, we are glad to get here. So you did a little shot of whiskey, no blood clots.
No, I'm good.
Let me put your conspiracy hat on just for a second, because
You
I'm
don't
kind
even
of
need to anymore.
Does he ever take it off?
I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist, and the reason I say this is because the Johnson & Johnson one-shot vaccine. Great idea. I thought
damn it.
everyone wants it, right? They're smart enough. They don't have to do 2 shots.
2
right?
shots?
Tom's doing the second shot right now.
They don't have to. Oh my God.
What are you doing to me?
You're going 2 shots. They don't have to do 2 shots.
Tom's taking his second one.
Oh,
there we go.
boy.
All
Oh,
right,
my
now,
God.
now he'll die.
All right, very good. Go ahead.
Pfizer and Moderna have to do 2 shots. The technology. I'm not a biochemist. Is that what they call people that
Shocker.
put together, vaccines? I'm not a biochemist. I'm certainly not smart enough, nor will I ever be smart enough, and I'm okay with that. I leave that kind of things, to the smart people. But the conspiracy theory in my head is someone in Big Pharma was very angry about the fact that Johnson & Johnson came up with one shot. I mean, we already had a problem with them once where 1 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine were ruined by some idiot at some factory where they were putting together the Johnson & Johnson shot.
That's right.
How does that happen? You know how many millions of dollars that was just they had to throw away because they were somehow they couldn't use them, right?
Well, they got their Biden bucks too, right?
That I don't know. But in my mind, is this vaccine espionage? Is this big pharma espionage where there might be someone of the big dog pharmaceuticals trying to take out Johnson & Johnson because they were smart enough to come up? I mean, because you look at it this way. How many doses had people received? 6.8 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson one shot.
Oh, damn it.
6 deaths from blood clots in women between the ages of, I think it was 18 and 40?
No, I think it was
Right.
only, they're only talking about one death. They're talking about one death.
Well,
and
there are 6 women that had blood clots.
Correct.
So one death, 6 women
Yeah.
with the blood clots, 2.5 weeks after getting the shot. Let me ask you,
Allegedly.
what's the one thing that women between the ages of 18 and probably 38 take every single day that might cause
birth control.
birth control causes birth defects, right? Or not birth defects, it causes blood
Well,
clots.
in Chad's case, it did.
It causes blood
What
clots.
happened?
Right? I mean, that's my thought.
Right.
Could it have been birth control that caused the blood clots? I don't know.
No, it was the vaccine.
I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I don't think it was a vaccine.
You
I mean,
don't.
No, I don't. I think it's big pharma trying to outdo other big pharma. I think it's someone trying to take Johnson & Johnson down because they were smart enough to come up with a one-shot vaccine.
So you're
That's
saying
plausible.
Johnson & Johnson's getting canceled?
They've put them on hold. There's no more Johnson & Johnson vaccines for the time being. And
So
again,
what are they going to do with all the ones they already have? Just throw them out?
I don't know. They got to keep them on ice because isn't Johnson & Johnson one of them that you have to keep cold too? I mean, I don't
know.
I don't know. I just look at this and I think there's a whole crap ton of money to be made. Why not take out one of the big pharma so that you don't have to deal with them anymore? Pfizer and Moderna are going, yes,
Right.
this is great news, right?
Yeah. As a Pfizer stockholder, I'm appreciative.
Of course you are. I mean,
Well, there's something to be said about that too, because certainly there's been side effects and deaths that have been reported that could be scientifically connected to the other vaccines so far, right? There hasn't been no side effects for the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines. People are reporting side effects for those too. So under the theory of there are dangerous side effects being reported, therefore we need to put the Johnson & Johnson on pause, why wouldn't that have happened already with the Pfizer and the Moderna? So
Yeah.
Along those lines, that seems to make sense, what you're saying.
I mean, I'm not going to get the vaccine. I know you guys aren't going to get the vaccine.
I don't know.
I know Matt Clark is probably. Are you
Tom's
going to get
Tom's gotten all 3 already, I
He's-
think.
I may at some point.
He's already had 2 shots.
I have.
The way I think about
Oh, now he's going to have a 3rd shot.
Really?
It's a celebration.
Well, I had the Pfizer,
Of our
and then I
brand new
had the
studios.
Moderna. Now I'm going to have the Johnson & Johnson. This one's definitely going to kill me.
It's our brand new studio. It's a celebration, right? We'll let him have a shot. Just let
God
him.
bless.
Who's driving him home?
What are you drinking, by the way?
you know what I think.
Crappy whiskey.
What kind of crappy whiskey? What's the name of it?
They haven't paid for the promotion.
Oh no, we don't want to.
Matt, which
It's
way?
it's the whiskey that was left over at the party.
Okay.
Matt, which way are you headed after the show? Are you taking Tom home?
Well, depends on what side of the city he lives on. If I need a passport to get there, like I do from Victor.
So if it's not enough that they came up with this idea of the vaccine passport, right? That they want to make sure that once you're vaccinated in the state of New York, they want you, in order to be able to get anywhere and do anything, they want you to have a vaccine passport.
Right.
The Excelsior, It's unreal. It's very big brotherish. It's a violation of all of your rights as a human being, right? And now the Buffalo Bills, the Erie County plan, according to the county executive, is you're not going to get into a Bills game unless you can show proof of a vaccine. So depending on how big of a Bills fan you are and you love going to the game, and we know so many people do, they buy season tickets, they make a day of it, they go stay all night in an RV out in the parking lot. I mean, there are people that want to see the Bills, that if they want to see the Bills, it's basically holding a gun to their head and saying, you're not going unless you show proof of a vaccination. End of story.
Yeah.
Elizabeth says you don't need to be a scientist. You only need common sense.
Oh,
No, Chad, don't get the damn book out.
I have loads of that. I have loads of common
Don't
sense.
read
common
any of
sense.
the book.
I don't have any books to read.
Oh, thank
I
God.
have loads
Oh,
of
Common Sense, Thomas Paine.
Right.
Thank you for the relay.
Yeah.
That's my book that I like to read on the podcast.
Yeah, so the
Let's talk about that for a minute, the
Yeah.
Bills game and how much and how little common sense people have that just take these mandates out of Albany and the executive in Erie County.
Right.
I can't pronounce his last name.
is it polling carts?
Mark something or
Mark
another.
Pollincarts.
Yeah, Mark asshole.
Yeah.
So, what the hell you doing? Sit down.
I don't know what you're doing. What are
Somebody
you doing?
put his seatbelt on.
Well, never mind.
Matt, can you put Tom's seatbelt on him, please?
Tom, get over here.
So, hear me out. There was two different guidelines or mandates that were passed down out of Albany this week that pertain to crowds gathering in football stadiums where vaccines are going to be required.
Mm-hmm.
One of those pertains to the Buffalo Bills, as you just mentioned. The other one pertains to high school graduations.
Right.
And what Governor Cuomo has said for all the sheep to eat up is this. He says that if you want to take the government poison, if you want to take the shot, if you want to get shotted, as some of the local superintendents like to refer to it as, they call it getting shotted now. They want to shot all their students in high school.
Okay.
So
Leave us kids alone.
that's right. So
We don't need
No talking.
in order to
education.
You can't sing though. They'll block us out. Stop it.
if you want to go to
Oh, you guys are already being blocked out from YouTube. I'll tell you right now. This is a 2-week ban.
if you want to go to your high school graduation, if you gather anywhere between 250 and 500 people, you're required to show proof of vaccination or a negative COVID test, right? But you can't go over 500, as I understand it, at your high school graduation. But the vaccine, if you get vaccinated, you can gather 80,000
I
strong
know. Yes.
amongst a bunch of drunks at Buffalo Bills Stadium.
Yeah.
So why can't 600 people? Why can't 1,000 people gather at a high school graduation in a football stadium if they prove that they've been vaccinated? Why can't they do it today? Why can't they go to their high school football game this Friday night or this Saturday afternoon with proof that they've been vaccinated? Right now, only 2 family members or 2 people per student, per athlete can attend any high school athletic event right now. But 80,000
Yes.
can go to a Bills game.
Yes.
Geez, I wonder if the
And
common
sweat on each other
Yeah.
and eat each other's food and drink out of each other's beer glass and
I wonder if the common denominator here is that
you've been to a Bills game with me, I hear, Camille?
yes, and
80,000
puking on each other and
80,000 vaccinations produce a lot more money than a couple hundred or a couple dozen vaccinations produce at a local high school athletic event, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yes.
absurd. And people
Yes.
eat this up.
Money.
People eat this up.
Follow the money. Right? We've said it 100 times on this show. Follow the money. And that's really all this is, right? It's criminal.
Yeah.
The amount of money that is lining people's pockets. And if you don't see it, then you're part of the problem, right?
Exactly.
If you don't see it.
Even worse, if you participate in it, right? You're given fair warning. Cuomo tells you if you want to go to a Bills game, get vaccinated.
Right.
People are going to go get vaccinated simply because they want a ticket to the Bills game. And to you, I say you are part of the problem.
Absolutely part
You
of
are
the
part.
problem.
Don't call my phone. Don't make this phone ring here.
It will ring at one
Don't-
point in time.
don't-
Just not today.
Don't call me up
Not today.
and tell me you have a problem with Governor Cuomo's mandates and you want legal advice. Don't call me up with that question. If you're going to go get vaccinated to go to a Bills game and you won't stand up to fight for your own children to go to their high school proms and graduations and athletic events and have their siblings come and watch them, if you're not going to fight for that and you go to the Bills game, don't talk to me.
Your kid's in the
call
Irondequoit
me.
School District, right?
Correct.
It's
East
it's a
Irondequoit.
very good school district. So tell
not
me,
bad.
you're not, your kid isn't going to graduation. Is that right? Did I hear you right the other day?
Yeah, that's correct.
So what are you doing?
Well, I mean, that was, of course, until I went home and got yelled at by my wife for
Oh.
saying that publicly, but it's all good.
Shocker.
No, listen, I asked my
Damn
son.
it, honey. What
What did you do now?
Damn it, honey. I know. Listen,
I asked my son. It was his
when
decision.
you start doing this regularly, you're going to hear a lot of damn it, honeys. I'm going to throw that out at you now. What you're going to understand is your wife is going to yell at you a lot for saying things that you shouldn't. Not
yeah,
that-
that's been going on for a long time.
okay.
And it's
All right.
usually
Since you're
deserved.
used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
okay.
usually deserved.
Okay,
so,
good.
no, what I'd like to see happen in my perfect world, I'd like to see hundreds, if not thousands, of parents in Monroe County go out and find a location, public or private, and host a high
Massive.
school neutral, a massive high school neutral graduation.
I love it.
Let's just roll it out.
I love that idea.
Let's get the amplifiers, the speakers, the microphones, and let's just have a graduation. All these kids are buying their caps and gowns, their overpriced caps and gowns.
Or kids.
The only thing that they're not going to physically get in their hand if we were to pull something like this off would be their actual diploma. They'll
Mm-hmm.
get that later. I don't know that they get it anyway in that moment. I think they just hand you the empty
Whatever
the
it is, and
empty
they mail it
booklet.
to you. Yeah.
and then they mail you the diploma later.
Yeah.
In case you didn't pass your exams.
So you're
So-
going to have a big graduation ceremony
I'm
on
gonna
your
try.
own.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
try. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
good
my
for
goal.
you. Did I understand that in the Irondequoit? No, this is just something I heard off the cuff, and since you live amongst other Irondequoit individuals,
Irondequoitians.
tell me if this is true. Are they not allowing boys and girls to be called boys and girls anymore? It's friends. Okay, friends. Because boys and girls, we can't have that conversation anymore because of the whole transgender issue. And some kids might be offended by the fact that they don't want to identify as a boy or a girl. So now we just say, hey, friends, good morning, friends, whatever.
I haven't
Do
heard
you know that to
No.
be true?
I haven't heard that yet. It certainly wouldn't surprise me at all because I've seen, around the nation and even locally, I've seen the banter go back and forth. I've seen the curriculums that they've proposed and the literature go around, but I haven't seen that specifically.
Someone
around
told
quite
me
yet.
about that.
Didn't Mr. Rogers start the whole boys and girls when he would come up and say hello, boys and girls, and he would.
a different time.
I know.
You know, Mr. Rogers was a different time.
Are you gonna take your shoes off?
I
I would love to.
slip into some slippers
I
and a
love
nice
Mr.
little sweater.
Rogers.
I was
Shocker.
too old for Mr. Rogers.
Oh, you were.
I never
He was
watched.
on till like 5
Yesterday.
years ago.
I know, but my kid didn't watch Mr. Rogers either. I want to thank our sponsors, Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, which was the very first sponsor of Kimberly's Revolution. We are on our 27th episode. The name of today's show is Home Sweet Home. Thank you to Fantuzzo's for sticking with us since September. They have been a major contributor to this program, and we appreciate them.
Maybe they want the podcast studio named after them.
The Fantuzzo's podcast studio.
Yeah, you never know.
We can
Sure.
we can sell anything, baby. We can sell
Well,
anything.
not anything.
I mean, the Blue Cross Arena. You gotta name your building, right?
Right, we got to be smart
I
about
thought it was the Robert E. Morgan Professional Building, Chad.
So we'd
Well,
also,
he's not paying anymore.
yeah. I'm sorry. Is your dad dead?
No, he's
it's-
not.
Oh, he's not.
He's actually listening right
No,
now.
I'm teasing. I know that.
Bob, we love you.
Yeah, of course. But we
We'll
thank
never
our
take your
sponsors.
name off the building.
Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, Taylor Heating and Cooling. We adore you guys because you really stepped in and they like the show. They're big fans of the show. Precision Lawn and Garden in Webster. We appreciate you. And our brand new sponsor today, Express Sealers. So make sure, don't have a driveway that looks all, scruffy
Fill your cracks.
with express sealers. Don't have one of those neighborhood guys do a knock on your door and hey, I've got some leftover sealer. Don't do those guys. Express Sealers, 645-2010, 645-2010. The police officer in Minneapolis,
Right.
who thought she was pulling her taser and instead pulled her gun,
Yeah, it happens.
has been arrested
Really?
and is charged with second-degree manslaughter as of this afternoon.
Wow.
The man that she was pulling the taser on was stopped for expired plates, is my understanding. There was an outstanding warrant for an armed robbery and assault with a deadly weapon. He had a gun. He robbed a woman, tried to rob her of $850. He was unsuccessful in that armed robbery. This is a 20-year-old kid who'd already had multiple priors. That doesn't mean that you shoot and kill him, but when they pulled him over, he tried to get out of the car and run. And all I'm simply going to say is nothing bad is going to happen to any one of us if we sit and be polite and respectful of the police officers, right?
Turn off the car. Put your hands
Officer, how can I help you?
on the steering wheel.
And just be cool, right?
I do that at Jiffy Lube, Chad. They get really mad at you at Jiffy Lube.
Three shots.
I gotta do another one.
He doesn't have a blood clot in the brain yet, but it's slowly making its way.
Doesn't everybody have to do that at Jiffy Lube? You gotta put your hands on the wheel and put your keys on the dashboard, or else they get really mad at you.
There's a few different places I can go with that remark.
I don't have a Jiffy Lube place. I have a husband who's a Jiffy Lube.
Yeah, well, I'm the husband and I go to Jiffy Lube.
I have a real husband that can change the oil and a tire.
I thought you were talking.
I'm calling BS.
I thought you were talking about visits to your proctologist.
Yeah, I already
Put your
did that.
hands up on
Can
the.
every one of you guys, and I am in a room full of men, can you guys
Yes.
all change a tire? Can you do like
Yes.
real men things?
I can change a tire.
You can change a tire?
Yes,
can't-
I have changed the
Fry
tire.
up the bacon?
Yes, I can change a tire.
Can you?
I-
You can?
I don't.
can't, I
I
can't.
don't change the oil.
I don't want to change my oil.
I had a massive blowout on Lake Avenue.
TMI. When was this?
I had a massive blowout on Lake Avenue and blew out my tire.
What were you doing on Lake
I
Avenue?
hope
Call-
you
I
weren't
was-
wearing a thong.
I had just come from.
Tom, do another shot. They're obviously getting to your head.
I know. Don't do no shot.
Tom's
right.
gonna do
You're
another
taking him
shot.
home. I'm not taking him home.
Lori's coming to get
All
her.
right, go ahead. Go ahead. Keep
Poor,
going.
poor Lori.
So I had just. Oh my God, he's having another shot.
Poor Lori.
I was driving down Lake Ave, and I have this. All of a sudden, I hit a pothole as enormous as this room, and I heard it. It went pop, and my tire just blew. And I was like so angry, and I called Rich, and I said, "Honey, I'm on Lake Avenue."
Honey, I shrunk the kids.
And he goes, "Why are you on Lake Avenue?" And I said, "Well, I'm trying to make a living, and the day's just not going right." I didn't say that.
They do that on Lyle now, Kimberly.
I know they do. But anyway, so I had pulled over, and he came out and changed my tire, and I'm good for that. But
Aw,
you know,
what a good boy.
but where was I? Oh,
I don't know.
So the cop. So nothing bad is gonna happen if you just, when the cop stops you, just be cool. And what happened is, this is a 48-year-old woman. Her name's Kimberly. I forget the last name of the police officer. I can't think of it. But she was arrested this afternoon. She's brought up on charges. She retired. I'm assuming that she retired before the arrest.
Yesterday she retired, yeah.
She retired yesterday, Matt. I'm thinking to save her pension. Probably.
Well, the chief he resigned too. Everybody resigned.
Everyone resigned
Everyone
because the
resigned.
chief said.
So
because
wait, why did the chief resign?
I-
Because
Well, let me tell you why he resigned. You know why he resigned.
And now the news.
Do you know why he resigned?
I don't. I
Because
haven't
he
followed
said,
the story.
Let's sit back and let due process run its course.
Oh, so he called for constitutional rights.
Right.
Therefore, he had to resign. They probably threatened him.
How dare you call for
Yeah.
constitutional rights in anything?
I haven't-
Let's just throw her away, lock her in a jail cell and throw away the key.
Isn't
Forget
that-
about due process. How dare you bring up due process in this kind of a situation? You know what? He was a good boy. I'm sure he was going to go to college. I'm sure that the armed robbery with an illegal weapon was just a glitch on an otherwise, very bright and brilliant future.
Speaking
right?
of Revere Realty,
No.
He can make a parole board later.
Am I right? He could be, and I'm going to get to that story.
Well,
here
did you
in
see
just
the
a second.
video of him being interviewed and he called it a riot? And the journalist said, "Don't do that. Don't call it a riot." And he's like,
The police chief?
"No." The police chief was Gannon was giving an interview yesterday,
Yeah.
or 2 days ago.
Look at him coming up with
He
the actual
called
guy's
it.
name.
He said the riots because he was there on the front line. He called the riots, and the journalist said, "Stop that! Don't do that! Don't call it a riot."
Oh, my
And he's like,
goodness.
and he corrected them on camera on live TV and said they are riots. I was there.
Shocker.
Wait.
Right.
Were they free shopping sprees? I'm just asking for a friend.
What kind of riots are there?
You're just asking for
Free
Revere Realty?
shopping sprees. That's
Obviously,
So-
this guy didn't listen to Chief Singletary's advice because he got shown the door as soon as he tried.
he did, and so do not bring up due process because they will force you out of your job, right? That's all he said is let's be calm and let the system do its work, which is what I mean. You work in the system, Chad.
What system?
Feel better now, Chad?
The judicial
Yeah,
system.
you had to take off your outside
I took off my
protective device.
I took off my protective
You're
cover off
such a
my
child.
microphone.
I told you the reason that those mic.
Look at Matt Clark from You Made It Political, okay? If you watch the man's podcast, it's so phenomenal. It's so professionally
Facebook.
produced.
Yeah.
And I think this is how his microphone looks. So I'm going to go with this
It's all
look.
about the microphone.
So
look.
I'm going with this look.
A good Catholic never covers their microphone.
I like the wind cover on my microphone. I mean, I'm just used to them because that's Radioland,
Hats
right?
for
Radioland.
hats for bats. Keep bats warm.
Looks a lot better, Chad. You look good
Thank
now,
you,
buddy.
Beautiful.
So the mayor of Brooklyn Center, I think we have a video of him. The mayor of
All right.
Brooklyn, he has a brilliant idea. It's you got to wait about 13 seconds for the idiot mayor of Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, which is
Can I
where
guess?
what?
Reparations?
No.
No, no.
Let's hit the
That
video
was
and let
last
him
week.
let him do his talking. Do we have the video?
Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid.
And then somehow
You brought her. You taser.
she pulled her gun. I don't know how
Too
that
soon,
happens.
Chad?
I have spoken to, and again, she's a veteran of the force, so it's not a rookie mistake. She was training a rookie at the time that this happened. So I asked my daughter.
She was training her on how to start a riot.
I don't know. She
Right.
the way my daughter explained it to me, and I'm sure that people out there who are police officers and have been trained know this to be true. There are two different arm movements. Like you have to reach cross-body to get your taser, right?
Oh,
You have to
okay.
reach cross-body to get your taser, and your gun
Is
is
this
right
like-
there. Your gun is right
Like
here on your
Vogue,
hip.
like strike a pose.
But you have to reach cross-body, right, to get your taser. I'm thinking. I
Well,
don't
Well, they
know.
keep them on opposite sides, right?
Macarena.
Guns on
They-
one side, tasers
taser
on the other.
I do believe your gun is on your strong hand, right? So if you're a lefty, your gun will be on your left hip. If you're a righty, it's on your right hip. That's
Well, maybe-
my understanding.
maybe she-
Ambidextrous.
Maybe she just switched political party and she wasn't sure what her right and her left were.
I don't know, but she is. She has
another
been.
shot.
She has been.
That was a good
don't.
joke.
She has been arrested and charged with second-degree manslaughter, which whether or not that will hold water, I don't know. That means when you don't mean for something to happen, right? It's
Yes.
unplanned.
It's more or less. It's like negligence in civil law. So you didn't intentionally commit a murder.
Mm-hmm.
You were negligent in your conduct that led to somebody's death. It's similar to vehicular homicide. So if you get into a car accident when
Mm-hmm.
you're speeding and you strike somebody and they die, you didn't intend to kill somebody,
But you did.
but you were reckless, you were negligent in the way you were operating your motor vehicle,
Right.
and it ultimately led to somebody's death. Therefore, you get a charge like a manslaughter.
You're going to
charge.
charge like a manslaughter. Yeah. So you have that. And of course, now all the pundits,
That'll
all
be
of the.
that'll be $350.
All, wow, you're expensive. All the talking heads are saying, well, now you know why everyone's so afraid of the police.
Did she just call us talking heads, Tom?
Can I make a quick side comment?
No.
How come?
What else do you ever do?
How come you have a bottled water and Kimberly has a bottled water, but I don't have any damn
Because you have an
water?
entire bottle of whiskey.
Which you're
That's
drinking
why.
very fast, I might add.
Damn
I
it.
mean, yeah. You're drinking that, but yeah. So all the talking heads are saying, "Oh, now you understand. It's a blah blah blah." And let me just remind you that last year there were 248 police officers that were killed in the United States. All right, crazy.
From COVID?
2009, no, not from COVID. 2019.
Right.
Let me just kind of reconcile these numbers. 2019, there were 68 officers killed in the line of duty. How do you think the officers were killed? How do you think, of course, some by accidents,
I already told you.
but the majority, not COVID. They weren't killed by COVID. Some probably died of COVID-related illness.
Heart attack on the job.
Assault.
They were shot by
Shot.
people that don't have high school educations,
Allegedly.
that come from single parent families and live in urban America. Is that, you think that's fairly
It's
accurate?
probably fairly accurate.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm saying.
Shocker.
And I'm leading up to something that I know is outrageous to all of us. And it's at the fact that there's a local school district right here in Rochester, New York, that decided to put out a memo of how sorry they were,
Right.
how awfully sorry they were that the Blue Lives Matter flag was ever on the inside of a window at Greece Odyssey High School. And so therefore, the very brilliant superintendent, Grotman,
Kathleen.
and the principal of the Greece Odyssey High School, whatever his name is,
Hendley.
idiot, I think. I'm
Mr.
not sure.
Principal.
Hendley.
Is it Jeff Henley?
I just know the last name, Hendley.
Wasn't he with the Eagles, Chad?
They decided.
Philadelphia?
It's Don Henley.
Oh, Don
It's
Edley.
very,
It's
very
Hendley.
So they decided to put out a memo or letter that stated.
Apparently, back in November, there was some students at the school that had ripped down either that particular flag or some other version of a thin blue line flag at the school. So some students had ripped down the flag, claiming that it was offensive to them and so on and so forth. And so there was a meeting that was attended by the students, apparently by police officers, by school security and school administration, and they struck a deal, so to speak. They struck a deal where the security officers at the school would be able to continue to fly their flag as it was flying in their window up until this recent incident. So what happened with this recent incident was there was at the building, they were doing some sort of equity and inclusion training, of course, shocker, right? There was some sort of in-service day at the school where they
all
were
about inclusion.
Yeah, where they were doing this equity and inclusion training, and they had brought staff from other buildings in the district to Odyssey for this day-long meeting or whatever. And at the end of the day, one particular teacher who was leaving the building claims that she noticed that the flag was hanging up.
Okay.
And she contacted the principal, she contacted other administrators, and she bawled them out saying how offensive this is and how this.
Are you serious?
And how many and how there's so many students at the school.
Right.
Blah blah blah. That apparently everybody hates the police, so we got to take the flag down. So they went and took the flag down. They caved. They take the flag down.
Which I guess they hate the school resource officers as well, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you
Who
don't
do they
want them
call-
there.
Who do they call when there's an active shooter?
Well,
Who
maybe
do
they
call?
should call their.
The school resource officer?
They should call the principal and the superintendent.
No, they should call that teacher, right?
Or
They should
that teacher.
They should call the teacher that complained. Is she going to come and defend these children?
She's going to
if
run
there's an active shooter?
I think they ought to make her run at the active shooter because that's what cops do.
That's a great idea.
They run at the active shooter to try to take out the active shooter.
Yeah, when they're done training on equity and inclusion, they should train her how to run at an active shooter.
Grease Odyssey.
Unarmed, of course.
I hope
Yeah,
that nothing bad happens at Grease Odyssey for the sake of the children.
Is this a legal disclaimer?
Because of honestly, I mean, when I sit here and think, I'm like, oh my God, they don't want police. People are afraid of police at Grease Odyssey. So if their kids are ever in danger, who are they going to call?
Did you hear Ben and Jerry's called out to abolish the police?
Ben and Jerry's. I'm not buying their ice cream anymore. And you know what?
Never
They
did.
live in quaint little mansions.
exactly.
Outside
With security
of-
guards, probably.
With security guards outside of Burlington, Vermont.
And walls around their property.
I hope that for the sake of Ben and Jerry and their quaint little Vermont mansions, $1 million mansions that Ben and Jerry both have, I hope nothing ever bad happens, that they would need to call the police officers in the little towns they live in outside of Burlington, Vermont, because they're being robbed or assaulted or something bad is going on at their house. See, people don't think. Use your head.
Common sense.
What happens when we completely live in a lawless society? It's going to be ugly. It is going to be ugly. And if you don't think that violent crimes have ratcheted up significantly since this whole let's abolish the police or let's bring on reform boards to help, get the police officers in line, if you don't think that doesn't have bad repercussions, you are mistaken.
Yeah, we are a nation of laws. Your time is ticking.
There is a reason for that. And I got to show you this video. So, I mean, listen, we've got nothing on Portland, right? Portland is probably about the most lawless city
Portland
right
Avenue?
now. Not Portland Avenue. Portland,
Portland,
Washington.
Oregon?
Portland could compete. Portland Avenue could
Portland,
compete.
Oregon, yes, not Washington.
Portland,
It's out there in the
Portland, Oregon?
Pacific. No, yeah. So Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
Where they have riots and set things on fire, Matt,
Yeah.
every day, right? Antifa is big in Portland.
Mostly Antifa.
It's a picnic to them.
Yeah. I mean, it's just another day
Antifa.
in Portland.
Well, they've now moved over to Minneapolis. They're there now. Antifa arrived late last night.
Antifa did arrive.
Yeah, they're
in,
there. They're
in
there.
full garb.
Yep.
Do they have like sweatsuits and warm-up jackets? That
Oh no,
say
but
they're
they've got the riot gear on.
It's a whole line of
when
gear.
they get off the plane,
Whoa,
do they
whoa,
have,
whoa, whoa,
like,
whoa. Hold on. Do they have to provide proof of vaccination
to get off the?
Well, no, because it's
before they can riot?
No,
or
because they don't follow the laws.
because they're anti-fascist.
So
they're-
right.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
They don't have to follow the law because they're the craziest of the left.
They're like
right?
DC. They're like their own colony, their own thing.
Right.
Understood.
Yeah.
So when you're the craziest
They're a
of the
sovereign
left,
nation.
if you're a Democrat or a liberal, you don't have to follow the rules.
So
right?
you're saying they're the opposite of Chad.
It's like the Queen and King.
On Lake Avenue, I'm going to show you what happened over the weekend with all of these, all of the dirt bikes and
Revving on the red line.
right, exactly.
Right.
Lou Graham, right?
So. No, but I saw this movie. It doesn't end well.
Die Hard?
If you get a chance to not Die Hard, no, he's an Aussie. What's his name?
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No,
Bruce
he's
Willis?
not Aussie.
Not Bruce Willis.
I
is
just
it?
can't with you guys. No, it is not Bruce Willis. He's in Unhinged.
Well, don't get mad at us. You don't know it either.
It just went right out of my head.
Does
Anyway,
he have a pet koala?
Sylvester Stallone.
That's complete and utter lawlessness.
Oh, yeah.
Where do they get off stopping traffic in that huge intersection? You got traffic coming from like various directions.
It was a funeral.
He works a regular job that he can
Sure.
afford to spend that on the spinny rims and his hoopty.
Here comes another letter.
Listen, don't think I don't know the language. Got the lingo down. I got it down. More egregious on the cop thing though is, you know how they have these was it last week? No, because we didn't do a show last week. 2 or 3 weeks ago, we did that story about the woman that was married to a convicted murderer and she's on the parole board. Remember
Right.
her, Tana Agostini? That's a true story. There is a woman.
God bless you.
There is a woman who is married to a convicted murderer, and she is on the parole board. She makes the decision who walks and who doesn't. She is, one of the main supporters of parole reform. Right? Just let everyone out. Let them out. Let them out. Just keep them going. As if that's not crazy enough, there is a guy who is a cop killer. His name is Richard Rivera. He killed a 38-year-old officer in a bar in Queens, execution style, shot him in the head after he shot him in the shoulder. They were there to rob this bar that the officer happened to be at when he was off hours.
He should have used his taser.
They walked into this bar, this Richard Rivera and another man. They held up the bar. The officer says, "Hold it, I'm an officer, you're not robbing this bar." And Richard Rivera took a gun and shot him in the shoulder. And when he was down on the ground, he walked over to him, put the gun up to the officer's head and pulled the trigger. Brutal, right? The guy did 39 years behind bars. He got out in 2018. And guess what he was just appointed to?
The Police Accountability Board.
He is helping reform police
Ah, of course.
in Ithaca, New York, right down the road. Right down the road in the Berkeley of the East.
Sure.
A cop killer helping to reform cops.
He's woke now.
What?
He's like Joe. He's like Sleepy Joe Biden.
You know what? If
he's
someone
woke.
said it to me, I'd say, that's a joke, right? You know, you might remember that Cuomo last summer ordered every municipality in the state of New York to come up with some kind of a police reform accountability board or police reform, something that says, hey, you're going to look at the way you're policing and do something about it. Well, Ithaca put this cop killer who just got paroled on a police reform board. A man who hates cops so much, he walked over and at point blank range shot a police officer, a father of 4, in the head. And if you don't think that that's absolutely wrong and crazy,
Yeah,
I don't even know what
nothing
to say.
There's nothing to say with that. That's egregious.
but here's the guy.
This is where we live right
This
now.
is who he is.
This is New America that we live in.
That's Richard Rivera, the cop killer, who is now on a reform board in Ithaca to help reform the cops.
39 years? He
he's
looks
an-
pretty good
he's-
for being
well,
in jail for 39 years.
I think that's his early on picture. I think that's probably before the guys got to him in the shower with the soap. Let's
On
just
a
hope
rope.
he got his. I'm honestly.
Okay.
Here comes another letter.
Okay. Next.
At least we're 1 for 1.
Do you look at those stories and just go, that's just a joke?
Yeah, well, are you surprised? I mean, look at Susan. Who was it? Susan Rogers, who blew up the Capitol building in 1983, a far left radicalist.
Yeah.
Now sits on the board of Black Lives Matter. She was commuted by Bill Clinton,
Of course she does.
and she got out of her sentence, and she now sits on the board of Black Lives Matter. blew up the Capitol building. Actually blew it up, not this like fake January 6th insurrection stuff.
How does anyone expect this
Did
guy
he just
to
call what I did at the Capitol on January 6th fake?
How does anybody expect this
I'll let that go.
Richard Cop Killer Rivera to be fair and impartial when it comes to looking at police backgrounds? And
Well, of course, and that's the point, is that they're not, right? They're not there to be fair. I mean, we're living in an upside down world, and this is their goal.
So let me just get this straight. In the state of New York, we have on the parole board a woman who is married to a convicted criminal who was basically a hitman. That's what he was. But you know what? She can see things clearly, right? She's gonna make. And then we have a guy that's helping to reform police, and he's a cop killer. You don't believe me? Look up the story. I mean, you look up Richard Rivera. He's everywhere. I mean, we're not making we can't make this stuff up in the state of New York.
Well, and the thing is if you did predict something like this 6 months ago, a year ago, even last week, if you had predicted it, you would have been called a conspiracy theorist. People would call you crazy. They'd malign you. They would marginalize you.
Right.
Right. And then it happens. And then it happens. And then they rationalize it and justify it. And then it's rinse repeat. It's what they do.
Right.
It's what they do to us. We have common sense. We see what's going on in the world. We can add 1 + 1 and see that it's going to lead to 2 and make these predictions. And like I said, when we do, we're marginalized, but then it actually happens and they tell us why it had to happen.
Yeah.
They don't say, "Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, you were right and we were wrong." They then explain to you why it had to happen. It has to happen because the police are bad. It has to happen because, black and brown communities, need this reform, et cetera, et cetera. They rationalize it,
right,
and justify it,
just like they did with the blue line flag, right? The police flag at the school,
exactly,
right? The thin blue line flag. But I've said this before. Only one flag matters, right? The American flag. I mean, let's just cut to the chase and fly one flag. Right?
The one right behind me.
The one right behind you. Exactly. The one right behind me. Yeah, exactly. Anything else on your mind?
That flag offends people. There's people watching right now that are offended by that.
You know what? There are people that get up in the morning and go, "Oh my God, the sun's coming up in the east." They're offended. You can't help those people, right? You cannot help those people. What's the name of your show going to be when you start doing your show? Do you know? You have a name yet?
No,
because
he's kicking it around.
Because
there's a couple options out there.
Listener Paula, I sent you what she wanted you to.
Paula reached out to me as well.
Did she?
Yeah, Sons of Liberty.
Sons of Liberty with Chad Hummel.
I'm giving that a thought.
I like it.
You know what that made me think of though? That and Tom gave me an idea.
It made me think of it, and he's taking credit for it.
I think
no, I'm not. I just gave you credit for it. You drunk? Wait, hold on. He's going to send me a letter.
I think you should do. Your show name should be The Trouble with Chad.
There you go.
I think that's what it should be.
That's too obvious.
The Trouble with Chad.
So my son Tyler. My son Tyler has been podcasting. He has a little mini studio set up in his room, very similar to this. He has the exact same camera that we're using here. He's got a Rode mic. He's got a nice.
He's got a job. Who pays for all this?
Is his mic covered or uncovered, Chad?
I think it's covered.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, I told him he's 18. He better keep his mic covered. Exactly. So what I was thinking is along this lines of Sons of Liberty, and with an idea that Tom gave me.
Are you gonna go with Sons of Liberty?
If I do a podcast with and incorporate my son into it, I could perhaps name the podcast Father and Son of Liberty.
I love it.
You like that?
Because Son of Liberty,
it
Sons of Liberty,
organically, it's got to happen like that, right?
It's not as unique. Sons of Liberty, everybody knows. I don't really want to hijack something that's already out there, but I'd love to incorporate it because I love the philosophy and the nature and the history behind the Sons of Liberty, of course. So Father and Son of Liberty.
I like it. How did you come up with You Made It Political? I think you might have told us when you were sitting in. Matt is behind the scenes. He's kind of, running things to make sure things are running smoothly. How did you come up with your name? You Made It Political.
Because everything's political today.
So you made it political.
You can't make a single decision without it being political, right?
So under the umbrella of We the People Podcast Network, what's the name of your other show going to be?
The Red, White, and You.
The Red, White, and You.
So if you want to be a guest on that, let us know.
Snappy.
Let us know. We want in-studio guests for that show.
Snazzy.
That's an awesome name.
I like it a lot.
Red, white, and you.
Well,
Kimberly,
host-
do you
It's
want to know?
trademarked, Chad. It's trademarked.
Do you want to know what
I know
my
you're a
show
lawyer.
name is going to be, Kimberly?
Tom, what's your show name going to be?
Left Out.
It's going to be called Whiskey Down.
Left out.
Left Out.
Left out.
Tom's just
Tom.
going to do shots on his show. That's it.
Whiskey Down.
I like it. All right. That is going to do it for our show today. I
already?
know. Listen, it's a lot of fun.
We're
Can't
not
have-
paying rent, you know,
we
Kimberly.
can't. We can't have this much fun all the time, right? No. So I'm going on vacation.
You're
I
going
will.
to Ithaca, right?
I'm going to Ithaca. Yes.
Right.
It is. It's a vacation destination, Ithaca. So, but I will be back, and when I come back from the vacation, we get back on the 23rd. Then I will be starting that next Monday, every single day, an hour with Kimberly's Revolution every day.
Woo.
And I know, under the We the People podcast network. I want to thank Angela for reaching out to us with her brother's name, who's going to help us build the website. And
Oh,
so,
sweet.
and
Right.
again,
We will be here next Wednesday, though. We'll find a
We'll
find
have
a guest
a
host.
guest host.
are you doing it without me?
Yeah,
Okay.
we got to fill your chair.
Okay. Yeah. Good luck with
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna fill your
No.
chair next week. Don't worry.
I have an idea. for a
luck with that.
guest. We're going to keep it a secret,
What-
though,
what-
right, Chad?
Oh, what
Oh,
kind
of
of
course.
guest?
Yeah, we'll keep
Mike Lindell?
Is he coming yet? You've been
Mike-
trying to get him for a month now.
I
2
know.
months. Where
You
is
know
Mike?
what? I think his
He's busy. He's being sued right now.
I think his person that I keep sending texts to and videos has blocked me.
Come on.
Of course.
I don't know. I hope not. I'd love to have him on.
We're probably gonna get a letter from their lawyers.
Again, we want to thank Fantuzzo's Acupuncture, of course. We want to thank our brand new sponsor, Express Seal. Express Seal for your driveway. Call them, send a shout out to them, 645-2010, 645-2010, Express Sealers. Precision Lawn and Garden for all your lawn mowing needs. They have it all, big, small mowers, whatever. You got to be that guy in your neighborhood. Tom's that guy in the neighborhood. He's got to have the biggest and best, right?
No, I have a push mower. I have one of those ones that have the wire blades that you go back and
There
forth
you go. And of course, Taylor 500 helps. So until next time, as we always say from Kimberly's Revolution.
God bless, be kind to others.
Rejuvenate, restore, refresh, and heal. At Fantuzzo Acupuncture, we seek to help achieve effective health and wellness in an elegant spa-like atmosphere. Fantuzzo Acupuncture specializes in traditional acupuncture, cosmetic anti-aging acupuncture, acupressure, cupping, CBD topical creams, and more. Approach healthcare holistically. Visit FantuzzoAcupuncture.com to book online today. FantuzzoAcupuncture.com.
From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do.